Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you guys my battle for week 9 of season 3 of the Pokemon Premier League. Today we are taking on Travesty and the North Melbourne Kangaskhans. Now, before we get into this, if I'm talking a little quiet, it's because it is 4:30 in the morning and I figured what could possibly be a more productive thing to do at 4:30 in the morning, and the clear answer was nothing, so I'm recording this battle. So yeah, but I still should be able to record good enough or speak loud enough that way you guys can get my whole thought process on this battle. And this battle was something. So if you guys didn't watch the team analysis, make sure you go check that out. Link to it is in the description below. I'm going to stop trying to predict when I get that uploaded compared to this video, because I never guess right. But the link is down there, and if you guys watched it, you will know that this battle, I have some personal like reasons to try and win. I've had a couple of draft style battles against Trav that have not gone well. The first one actually ended up in me getting 6-0'd. But none of the battles that I've had against him have been like a full-out league match. So this is the first like a league match, and I'm basically trying to prove that like I can beat him. I'm not, like super scrub or anything like that. So I really wanted to win this match. So quick overview of the team that I'm bringing for those of you who did not watch the team builder and did not go back and watch it after seeing this. The team that I'm bringing is I have to remember it. Let's start with the less memey stuff. I'm bringing Tornadus T with a Focus Sash against the Sand team. So kind of weird, but trust me, I'm okay at Pokemon. There was a specially defensive Lantern, a physically defensive Hitmontop, a Sub-Calm Mind Bronzong, a Weakness Policy Roserade, and a Ditto. So, Choice Scarf Ditto, standard set. Yeah, so I was kind of scared of Trav's team, but I felt like I prepared decently enough. But it's time to figure out how did we do. So let's begin to answer that question by playing the battle. So initially, this is the team that Travis brought. He has a Tyranitar, Excadrill, Mega Audino, Latios, Tangrowth, and Thundurus. So initially, did not like that I saw Tangrowth, because for some reason or another I kind of didn't plan much for it. So that was going to be an issue. There's also no Slowbro, which is also kind of a little bit of a pain, just because my Lantern is meant to kind of take on the Slowbro, but now it kind of doesn't. There's also no Emboar, so things that I prepped a lot for just didn't show up. So Ditto was my lead. I figured, it would be. So yeah, this battle also looks like it's kind of lagging a little bit at times, so if that happens, I do apologize. So I found out, based on his moveset, that he has Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, and Knock Off. So I know I'm Scarfed, I can Volt Switch, and I do half damage, which is great. To do half damage on turn 1 was fantastic. I figured that he was going to go for the Volt Switch, so I believe that I go into Lantern. Lantern can take a Volt Switch. I don't have Volt Absorb because I didn't want to get Scald Burned by like Slowbro and stuff like that. So I kind of over-prepped for the wrong Bond, meaning that I kind of under-prepped for Thundurus in a sense. But it's okay. We can do this. Get leftovers, and then we have this Tangrowth. Now, I could Volt Switch, but to be honest, I actually was kind of looking, and he could actually bring speed investment on a Tangrowth to be able to outspeed a Lantern and just take it out. I'm not one to risk things like that, especially with a player like Trav, because he is someone that I could definitely see doing that. So I just straight switch out into him on top, because I expected him to go for a knockoff, which I was actually correct about. A knockoff or a Power Whip. I figured those would be like the two best moves that he would go for at that point. So I go ahead and hit him on top. And then this time I'm going to go for a Toxic, I believe. And I want to kind of see if this thing is going to stay in or what it's going to do. I do go for the Toxic as he goes for the Aerial Ace. He reveals that, but it really doesn't do much damage, so I thought that was kind of an odd bring, but I guess any chip damage on a Hitmontop is good chip damage, especially because I don't really have a way to heal now because my leftovers is gone. So I kind of figured that he was going to switch out, knowing he can't do that much damage to me. I thought he would want something to kind of speed up the process, so I actually pulled Double Switch into Tornadus, which can outspeed anything that he could bring in, except for he does have Thunder Wave, and I know this. But I was kind of risking it. I was like, maybe he won't go for a Thunder Wave and whatever. And probably should not have risked that. I probably should have just switched out into Lantern right here. But I don't. I go for a U-turn, but he goes for the Thunder Wave and he actually paralyzes my Tornadus T, which really sucks because this Tornadus T is faster than everything on the field. Actually, if he's max speed Timus Thunderous, the speed I have actually speed ties with it because I only outsped Latios. I didn't actually go to outspeed Thunderous, so I kind of overlooked Thunderous a little bit. I had some plans for it, but not enough. So I do U-turn and I calced it. Sucker Punch from Hitmontop will not take this thing out, and I don't have any other way to outspeed it, so I go into the Ditto to outspeed, and then I go for the knockoff, thinking that I went for Volt Switch last time, maybe he'll try and be cheeky, bring Excadrill, no, I'm choiced into it, and then he'll have momentum, which wouldn't really make much sense because I could still bring in Hitmontop or the Excadrill, so Volt Switch still would have been nice, but knocking off this thing's Assault Vest was also really nice, because this thing really cannot take, I don't even know if it could have with an Assault Vest, but it can't take a Hurricane from Tornadus T, and it doesn't want to take a Sludge Bomb from Roserade at all. Like, it will die to both of those things. So, now we have this Hitmontop Thunderous matchup. This is when I did the calc. I don't remember if this was the time I did the calc, if I did it before, but I can't take him out with my Sucker Punch, so I have to switch out. Go into Lantern. Lantern's just taking more damage, and he's getting initiative. Really wish I would have brought Volt Absorb. Also, I don't remember if I specified when I copied the Thunderous, it did have Hidden Power. Actually kind of thinking that might have been Hidden Power Grass for the Lantern. Not entirely sure if that is correct or not. But I thought I saw something moving around. He takes his good time going into Tangrowth. This time, just based on the damage that the knockoff and the Aerial Ace did to my Hitmontop, I figured that he was just fully specially defensive. Like, he probably wanted to be able to live some of these hits from my special attackers. So I actually just decided to Volt Switch just to like officially confirm that he doesn't have like a bunch of speed investment, which he doesn't. But that's why I felt more confident doing it that time. And I just go back into Hitmontop because I figured he was going to go for a knockoff, which he did. Now I think I double switch again here, but I could be wrong. I might actually just go for a close combat here. I forget which turn this is. So let's kind of wait and see. Trav actually took a lot of time on a lot of his moves, so we really got him thinking, which is fine. But yeah, I do double switch. I go into Tornadus as he goes for Thunderous. Now, I still have my Focus Sash, and I was just like, now's as good a time to use it as any. And I break through. Is this the time to see? Actually, I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself. Does he Thunderbolt me here? Because I think he might. Or does he Volt Switch me? I think he Volt Switches. He Volt Switches. I only stay in because I have a Focus Sash, and I don't want to just go into Lantern, have him bring back out Tangrowth, and then, you know, him keep do that until my Lantern dies, and then he has a full health Tangrowth. Like, that doesn't help me. So I actually go for a Hurricane here as he brings in his Mega Audino. Shout out to me hitting a Hurricane through Parahacks, so I should get some sort of points for that. But he has the Mega Audino, and I have 3 things for this, basically. Plan A is to go into Ditto to see what this moveset is. Then I can decide whether I want to go into Bronzong and set up on it, or if I want to go into Roserade and try and activate my weakness policy against this thing, which was the plan for using Roserade. But, as you see here, I am going to switch out into Ditto, and he is going to go for a Dazzling Gleam here. Now, I saw his moveset. His moveset was Rest, Sleep Talk, Calm Mind, Hyper Voice, or Dazzling Gleam, or whatever he went for. That's scary. That's terrifying. and I cannot let him start setting up Calm Mind. So I go into Rose Raid to threaten him out with a Sludge Bomb. At +1 special defense, my Sludge Bomb is going to come very close to taking him out. It will not take him out, but it will come close. And he is going to have to rely on Rest Sleep Talk shenanigans if he really wants to do that. And I didn't think that he wanted to. Plus, on top of possibly getting a poison, I could also Leech Seed this thing because I have Leech Seed on my moveset. And I enact the plan of using Rose Raid despite the fact that I can't activate its weakness policy. I Stun Spore the incoming Tyranitar, which is good because this Tyranitar ends up being Scarfed. But we'll get to that later, because at this point I don't know that. So, I calc it, and if this thing is like Assault Vest, it's going to take literally nothing from the Giga Drain. And if it's not Assault Vest, it's still just it's still like a 2-hit KO. Like, there's no way I can do that much damage to it. So I go into one of my switches, switches him on top. He double switches and goes into Latios. And he reveals Leftovers. So I'm like, okay, this might not be a super offensive set, which would be nice because I always do calcs for offensive Latios and Latioses, and they just kill me every time. But he goes for a Side Shock as I go into Lantern. I don't know if that was the best switch. I don't really think I had a better switch. I probably should have just went into Bronzong straight up, but I kind of just wanted to keep Bronzong's health as high as possible. And I could have saved Lantern for Death Water later. That probably would have been the smarter thing. So, but what I do now is I bring in the Bronzong. So now's as good a time as any to just try and get some damage. So I go for a Zubbis. He goes for the Magic Coat. He's trying to bounce back my Stealth Rocks. So, really funny thing, he didn't bring Stealth Rocks because he couldn't fit it on his team. He brought Magic Coat, hoping to bounce back mine, where I didn't bring Stealth Rocks. I was just going to use Ditto to take control of his like Tyranitar and get those Stealth Rocks. So neither of us actually brought Stealth Rocks on our team. We both brought Mons to try and use the opponent's team against them to get a Brox. But I'm behind a sub. I'm at +1 with a Calm Mind. He's going to go for a knockoff to take out my sub, and I'm going to go for a Flash Cannon because it is a chance to 2-hit KO. However, this thing still outspeeds me, and he has to go for a knockoff. He just straight up has to, because he has to try and take this thing out. You do not mess with threats, and when a Mon is setting up on you, you cannot take chances. So I knew he had to go for a knockoff. My Focus Sash was already used, so I go into Tornadus T also as a way to get up more Regenerator health, because I felt like I could still use this thing. So I just switch out, thinking that he was just going to go for like a move or whatever. He reveals Hidden Power. I'm guessing that was like some sort of Hidden Power Ice or something. I don't know if that just hit more of my team, because if he was all physical, like Rock Slide would have hit Tornadus T, but I guess Rock Slide doesn't really hit the rest of my team. So I don't actually know what Hidden Power that was, and Hitmontop is going to just finish off this Tangrowth and get a kill for the 5th straight week. So Hitmontop has 5 kills this season, and they've come 1 kill each in each of the last 5 games. So that's a fun fact. So you can see him, Hitmontop, just moving all over the place right there on the field, just waiting for somebody else, waiting for the next challenger. Come on, let me at him, let me at him, let me at him. And this is the Thunderous. Again, I cannot take him out with Sucker Punch, but at this point, I was just like, I'm running out of switches for this Hitmontop. I need to try and get damage. Maybe I can get a crit. Maybe a high roll like could potentially take him out, but I felt like he was just above the damage. And I didn't have Lantern, so like I don't really have Volt switch-ins anymore. So I go for the Sucker Punch this turn. And take him down to red health. He goes for the Volt Switch, and he takes me out. This also confirms to me that he has Specs, because Life Orb was a roll to kill me at that range, and he straight up killed me, and there was no recoil, so like he has to be Specs, unless I read the calcs wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was. I didn't actually get like a full overview of his team like afterwards, after the battle or anything, but like he had to be Specs. So now that I know that, it doesn't really change anything, actually. But he's going to go into Latios, and I was like, okay, I guess I just go into Bronzong. Now, I should have substituted again. Actually, yeah, I should have substituted again. But instead, I was just like, he's probably just going to go out into Tyranitar. Let me just get this straight up. You know, Flash Cannon. Now, the reason I say this is because I end up switching out here. I probably should have just stayed in and gone for Flash Cannon. I knew that Pursuit was possibly an option, but I was just thinking that there's no way that he brought Pursuit Tyranitar just for a Bronzong. Like, that didn't really make sense to me at the time. Like, in my head, I was just like, would he really bring that just for a Bronzong? Like, I don't have any other Psychic types, I don't have anything else even weak to Dark. Like, did he really bring Pursuit Tyranitar just for Bronzong? No, he didn't bring it. I'm just going to switch out, because I'll be fine. Nope, he brought Pursuit. And it almost kills me. That completely ruins Bronzong for the rest of the game. Completely ruins it. I also find that this thing's moveset was Toxic, Ice Punch, Rock Slide, and Pursuit. So, I can't do a whole lot of damage back to this thing with this Tyranitar, unfortunately. But I don't really have another switch into Tyranitar, so I just go for Ice Punch. And that does a decent amount of damage. So, we're here. And this is an Excadrill. My Hitmontop is dead, and I kind of just have to start sacking things, so I sacked the Bronzong because it already took too much damage. If I would have stayed in when he pursued with that Bronzong, I could have gotten more damage off on the Tyranitar. If I had subbed when he switched into Tyranitar, I might have been able to get off 3 Flash Cannons. I don't know that though. I think that would be based on rolls, but there is that possibility. So, yeah, that would have been really nice, but in the end, that's not what happened. This Excadrill just straight up takes out my Bronzong. I am really running out of things, so I was just like, I don't know if Sand Rush is added to the speed stat, so I don't actually know if I'm faster than this thing or not. I don't know if Ditto, if like the Sand Rush is calculated in the speed stat, and I don't think Trav knows either, so I just used that as a way to threaten him out, and I just went for an Earthquake because I had to. Unfortunately, he knows I'm choiced into Earthquake, so he gets a free switch into Latios. Problem now is I don't have a way to deal with Latios. I have this, which if I outsped would be nice, and I could do a lot of damage to. He goes for the Side Shock, and I actually live as I go for a U-turn. Dark Pulse probably would have done more. Well, it definitely would have done more. But, yeah. I have Tornado T, I have Ditto, and I have... Do I have anything else? Do I have anything else alive? I feel like there's one other thing that might be alive. I don't remember. Roserade's still alive. Yeah, Roserade's still alive. So, those are the 3 things that are alive. I'm very quickly kind of realizing that there's no way I can win this game. And I find out that this Latios, his moveset, is Defog, Roost, Magic Coat, and Psyshock. So the only attacking move he has is Psyshock. He's able to change up his moves, and he's able to Roost. So he wins this 1v1. I was just kind of hoping to get him to a low enough health to kind of force him to Roost, and then I didn't really have a plan after that. I was hoping maybe to go out into Tornado's T and then maybe switch out again, but he actually double switches out. And he switches into Tyranitar, I guess maybe just wanting to speed up the battle, maybe didn't want to risk crits. Not entirely sure, but he gets a crit there, it didn't matter, and Tyranitar takes out my Tornado's T. I go into the Roserade, still not able to take him out at this range, but I needed to just do damage and try and hope. He goes for the Ice Punch and doesn't take me out. I get to reveal my weakness policy, and then I die to Sand. So, kind of style points for that. Weakness policy, Roserade did not work. I'm going to have to try weakness policy another week, because it needs to work successfully. So, it was worth a try, but Trav didn't bring the Pokemon for me to be able to set it up on. The only thing I have left is this Tyranitar, and fun fact, if the Sand was not up, Ice Punch O-code the entire rest of his team. The only thing that stopped it was, freaking Thunder Wave on Thundurus. So we got 5-0'd there, but the entire rest of his team was at a low enough health that Ice Punch, because I'm Choice Scarf Ditto, would kill the entire rest of his team. Like, straight up. Unless Paralysis also affects the speed stat, which, if I took the stats of a paralyzed Tyranitar and has that speed stat scarfed, then Excadrill would still outspeed, and a lot of things that actually still outspeed. But if that's not the case, and I just take the regular speed stat of original Tyranitar, and that is what gets scarfed, I could have actually Ice Punched basically everything and taken out Trav and kind of come back with 1-0 with 5 Ditto kills. He did still have Thundurus, who could have paralyzed me, and then it wouldn't really matter, but it would have been more like a 3-0 loss than a 5-0, but Trav gets the 5-0 victory, And there's really not much to say about this game other than I prepped really hard for Embor. I didn't prep really hard, but I did bring the Lantern as more as a Slowbro answer, more so than a Thunderous answer, which came back to bite me. And then I really prepped for a very specific Audino, which he did not bring. I had Bronzong ready to set up against it. I had Ditto ready to steal wishes from it to be able to wish pass into my team. I had Roserade ready to take a coverage move from Audino, activate a weakness policy, and then get a free kill. None of those things were able to work because the things I prepped for didn't happen. And Trav is an exceptional, prepper. He's really good at team prep, and he's really good at executing his strategies and plans. And that's mostly what it comes down to. There are a couple things that I kind of wish I would have brought, obviously hindsight is 2020. Still going into the game, I still feel like I had a good team. Like, if he brought Slowbro instead of Thunderous, and he brought Embor instead of, Tangrowth, and then he brought, a standard Mega Audino set, or the Audino set that I thought he would bring, we would be looking at a much different match, and we would be talking about how I team prepped really well. So, it's not that I team prepped badly. I think Trav just team prepped better, or maybe I oversaw some things that were obvious brings to against me. So, regardless of any of that, congrats to Trav. He was in first place entering the week with a 5-0 victory. He pretty clearly is going to stay in first place. I don't even think there's a way for him to be overtaken, honestly. I don't think there is. So, which is perfectly fine. Trav is a really good friend of mine, and I would have no issues at all with him winning the PPL. That would be, freaking great. He does have a pretty tough stretch to end the season, so but make sure you go check him out. His links are in the description, as well as PPL links. But yeah, so definitely check him out. And that should basically end this battle. Prep for the wrong things. I battled okay. I just didn't have enough for his team, and he had too much for what I brought. And yeah, so we'll have to try weakness policy another week. Ditto scouting sets was fantastic. I love being able to scout sets, and based on scouting sets, I can also kind of get a gist of what they're trying to do against me, which is great. So I'm a fan of Ditto. I need to try weakness policy again, and we need to just try and prep better for our next matchup. I don't entirely know. Which our next matchup is against Jack, the Don Fanatic, which I'm not looking forward to, because in my opinion, he has the single-handedly most scary team in the entire PPL. That is, of course, just my opinion. Other people might have different opinions, but I think Jack has the scariest team in the PPL. And we are going to talk more about his team next week. So make sure you stick around for that. If you guys like this video, make sure you let me know, and I will see you guys on the next time. So thanks for watching, and until the next time, guys, stay sly.